Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card, we are doing a future spouse reading. Before I get in, I want to say before I set up and opened up to film this, I popped onto YouTube and I saw all of you guys' comments wishing me happy birthday. So I just want to say thank you. I know I'm not going to be able to get through all of them because there were so many, but I really appreciate all the love on that post and over on my Instagram too. Yeah, it made me smile. There's a lot of love, and I felt the love, so I'm gonna try and get through some of them, but I know I won't be able to get through all of them, so just thank you so much for wishing me happy birthday. So yeah, let's get into the reading. So I'm doing a future spouse reading because I know you guys really like these readings, and I hadn't done one of these in literally like 3 years, and then I did one at the beginning of the year. I think it was the beginning of the year, and I had a lot of comments asking me to do more and do them again. And I know that we're moving into a time period where I'll probably be focusing on you know, a lot of more inner work readings and you know, deeper readings. That usually happens when the seasons shift the way that they're about to. So I wanted to do, because we're still in summer, I wanted to do a more light-hearted you know, love type of reading, and you guys really wanted a future spouse reading, so that's what we're doing. And we're taking a look at the personality traits of your future spouse. So that's the question I'm going to be asking, the personality traits, and then I'm going to be taking a look at the dynamic between you and your future spouse as well, and just anything spirit want to bring through. So I have 4 objects for you guys to choose from. Pile number 1, we have these sunglasses. Pile number 2, we have the heart rose quartz. Pile number 3, we have the Ghislaine perfume, if it will focus. And pile 4, we have the pearl hair clip. So see which object you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at the characteristics and personality traits of your future spouse, as well as their dynamics and anything spirit feels needs to come through. You guys chose the sunglasses, and I'm going to start with tarot and then we'll move on to your oracle card. So let's get in. So pile number 1, please spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 1s. It's funny that you chose the sunglasses because straight away, like, I'm being taken to the sun. You may meet them during Leo season, you may meet them in the summer, or they could just be a fire sign in general. So Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Pile number 1, if you hear noises, it's the bed kind of creaking. Pile number 1. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1's future spouse. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides, the personality traits and characteristics of pile number 1's future spouse. We have the 4 of Pentacles. Personality traits and characteristics of pile number 1's future spouse. We have the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like your future spouse feels very, very logical, very, very practical. They're given kind of like mother, father energy. They could already have children when you meet them, or it could just be do you know what it feels like? This feels like someone that might have had to grow up very early on, because they feel very wise beyond their years, you know. That's the energy that I'm getting. But they feel very logical, very practical. They look at things in a very practical way. It's kind of given, like, no matter the gender, you know, when you think of like father energy, like protector, provider sort of vibes, like that's kind of how it's coming through. Even if you're watching this and you know your future spouse is going to be a female, it's just that's the energy that they're taking on. They feel very practical. I feel like I don't know why I'm picking up a strong energy that they might have had to sort things out like that quite early on in their life. Like they might have had to move home really young, or they could have had a lot of responsibility on their shoulders really young. They might have had to take like look after family members young. They might have had to like, they might have been, you know, like sent away. They could have moved out. Like there's a feeling like I've got to sort this out, and I've got to kind of make those necessary steps on my own. But it feels like young. It feels like I've got to wing it and build this up. So like by the time you meet them and as they get older, like all of that is like set in stone. Like their finances, their career, anything like that, it's like that's sorted with. They feel very practical like that. They may have a lot of earth in their chart as well. So that's Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, but there's a strong emphasis on trying to make it trying to make themselves successful very early on so they don't have to worry. There's like a strong drive in making sure that they're financially stable, financially successful. Like that's how it's coming through. And it's not out of an egotistical way of like, look at me, look what I can, you know, earn, etc. It's more so like the stability. That's what's coming through. It's the stability. I would say strong Taurus energy here. Taurus or Capricorn. Pile number 1, please, for guides. Pile number 1, the personality traits and characteristics of pile number 1's future spouse. Personality traits and characteristics of pile number 1's future spouse. We have the Temperance card as well. I feel like they're very emotionally mature as well. Like this is what I mean. I feel like they've grown up quite young. I feel like they've seen a lot, and I feel like this isn't someone that's very erratic with their emotions, and this is someone that when they express, like when you first meet this person, they may come across I don't want to say cold because they feel quite warm, but it's like they may come across like, I'm picking up like fatherly, motherly, practical, logical, very stable, but they might come across as someone that plays it safe. They might come across as somebody that like I'm trying to think of the word because it's not boring. Like that's not the vibe that I'm getting. It's just they, how do I put this in the words? Very level-headed. They're gonna come across that way. I don't think they're going to be super open with their emotions and their feelings. So they might keep things very surface level, because I feel like your future spouse is the type of person that when they connect with someone, I'm seeing like Taurus energy, like they'll slowly make a move, and they'll slowly put the graft in, they'll slowly plant the seed, they'll slowly water it. So it's like when you meet them, I feel like they're going to be a slow burner with you, but I see them almost like physically being there, physically showing up. And it's like, I feel like this, when you meet your future spouse, I feel like they're going to date you very slowly, take their time, getting to know you. Not just for you, but for themselves as well, because it's like, I don't want to open up myself for no reason. I don't just want to chuck my heart about for no reason. Like, they take things like that very serious. Anyone that comes into their world, they take that very serious. That's why we have this Four of Pentacles here as well. It's like, I'm not just going to invest in that business just for the sake of it, throw money around because I can. If that's going to help me out, and that's going to help me reach a level of stability, or it's going to be fruitful for me, I'm going to take it slow. I'm really going to analyze. I'm going to take my time with it. So when it comes to a relationship, it's like, they're not the type to just run towards someone because they're good looking, because they're just because they've caught their eye. They're not that type of person. They're the type of people to like really feel a situation out, take their time, get to know you, befriend you, spend time with you, show up for you, like really ask questions, and that's where they get deep. I feel like they really keep their emotions really close to their chest. I feel like they keep their cards close to their chest, and I feel like they slowly unravel from there. And I think that's because there was such an emphasis at the beginning of them having to I literally was showing somebody out, like being taken out of a house early. So when I'm thinking of a house, I'm thinking of like the comfort of the home, like the comfort of the mother, like the comfortability you should have as a child. that's what it's symbolizing to me. So it's almost like I'm being taken out of that, and now I'm having to like defend myself and fight for myself, put a roof over my head. Now it could be physically, like practically, that did genuinely happen, but for others of them I feel like there could have just been a lot on their shoulder. They weren't made to feel safe, so they're very careful in regards to, I feel like they've built something of substance for themselves, whether it's internally or outwards, like business wise and financially, and I feel like they're very careful of who they're going to let in. For some of them it's just maybe emotionally, like there's a barrier up of like, I'm going to be careful who I'm letting in. It's not just a case of like, I'm scared to get hurt, because this person feels like they very much trust themselves. It's more so, I want something of substance, I want something that's more real, you know. When you meet this person, they're going to be long past the time period of just like dating for fun, or just, you know, like hooking up and things like that. I feel like they're going to be way past that. This person could be maybe a lot older than you, but if not, you could, that's just their mentality. Like I said, they're wise beyond their years, I feel. Let's say this person's like extremely balanced and aware of their internal world, especially with the Temperance card here. I feel like they're very aware of their emotions. They're very self-aware. They're very aware of maybe where they need to do work, where they need, you know, where they need to focus their energy. They're very aware of that inwardly, and I think that because of that, they're quite intuitive and they can pick that up in regards to people around them, because I feel like that's where you come in. I see them like being aware when, you know, something's triggering you, or they're very aware when you need space to kind of pull back. They're very aware when maybe you're going through things. They feel very attentive in that way. I really want to take a look at the dynamic between you and your future spouse as well. So let me shall I pull them back? Yeah, I'm gonna pull these cards back, and I'm gonna take a look at the dynamic before I pull oracle cards. Pile number one, please, spirit guides. Pile number one, what is the dynamic going to be like? Do you know what's funny? I feel like they're looking at you as very much like a bright light. Like, I'm hearing the word wonder. I feel like you make them wonder maybe about life, or maybe you open their minds. Maybe you're somebody that's quite mutable. You don't have to be, but they're almost looking at you like you're a very, like, I want to say the word wondrous, like you're a very wondrous person. Very like Alice in Wonderland, like that's kind of how they're viewing you. It doesn't matter the gender, it's just they like your brain, they like the way that you think of things. I think you're someone that's actually very creative. I think that you're somebody that's actually very they kind of look towards you a little bit like childlike, but in the way of your mind. Like you're very connected to your inner child. You may be very open with your emotions and very expressive with your emotions, or it could just be you're just very connected to like your inner child in the way you look at life. Like you look at life in a very high, like in a very high perspective, in a very wondrous way. There's no limitations there. That's kind of how they're viewing that, like you. Like that's what I'm getting in regards to how they're viewing you. What's the dynamic between pile number one's future spouse and my pile number one's? They're gonna have their eye on you for some time, I feel. We have the Five of Pentacles. I feel like you may have the same kind of background. Pile number one, I think that may be where you might click. Like you could also be someone that had to grow up quite early on. You may be also someone that had to like emotionally mature early on. You might have had to, you know, you might have had to like physically and financially sort things out really early on to create a level of safety, or a level of, what's the word? I've had to, from like an early age, create a level of comfort or create a level of stability before maybe you were necessarily supposed to. There's something linking that's connected to your childhood, because with the five connecting to like the fifth house and like Leo energy, there's something that connects with the childhood. You may have known each other from childhood, but I feel like you may have had a similar upbringing, or you may have had similar pains growing up. You may have both had like a particular absent parent. you may both have had like both absent parents, or that there's just things in regards to the way you grow up that may be similar with each other, or just there's feelings there. Even if you grow up in completely different ways, there's, I don't know, it's like their inner child sees your inner child. Like, that's the only way I can describe it. Like, there's something mirroring there that you're both aware of and can speak about, and you both understand, which is causing you to click as well, but not in a trauma bond way. It's more like, you know, when you grow through something and that there's like something within your own makeup that means something to you. Like, when you grow up and you don't feel safe, once you've done healing, you look for someone else that makes you feel safe, if that makes sense. Like, I know that I need safety. I need to move towards people that make me feel safe, not like people that made me feel unsafe, like in my childhood. I hope that makes sense. So there's something that you both would have had to grow through that's created a priority within you both that you look for in someone else, after healing and working through it, that you're both gonna own and have. And it's not something physical, it's something internal. That's something, it could just be like emotional maturity, you know. Pile number 1, can you show me the dynamics between pile number 1 and their future spouse? We have the 4 of Wands. Pile number 1 and their future spouse. Can you show me the dynamics between pile number 1 and their future spouse? We have the 2 of Cups. Love that. I do think this is, well, I was going to say this is the person you're going to marry. Obviously, this is your future spouse. But I feel like once you meet this person, it's endgame. Because sometimes people can have many future spouses. Like, sometimes people can get married, like, a bunch of times. Like, especially celebrities. They get married a lot. Whereas I feel like this person, it's like, this is your person, you know? And it's like, because you look like each other on the inside. Because if you look at this 2 of Cups, let me make sure it focuses so you can see, because I want you to see. It's like, both of them have like this rainbow that's like kind of going in. So it's like you're both made of the same energy. And even spiritually as well, I feel like you're both part of the same soul tribe. 100%. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 1's future spouse. We have the 2 of Wands as well. And the back of the deck, we have the Hierophant. Yeah, there's definitely a soul connection here. I do feel you're going to click quite early on. 100%. I'm looking at that stairwell going up into the sky. I feel like you guys have a link spiritually. I feel like you're very connected on a soul level. I feel like you've probably had many lives together, to be honest with you. 5 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands, 2 of Cups, 2 of Wands. I think you're both going to be shocked in regards to the dynamic now. I feel like you're both going to be shocked with how quickly you click with each other, because I think maybe both of you, I would go as far as to say, maybe a little bit guarded, or you may really want to suss the other person out quite early on. But I see this connection happening very naturally and flowing very naturally. I do see conversations getting quite deep quite early on as well, because with the 5 of Pentacles being at the start, I feel like because I see that's why you're clicking. So I feel like you may speak about maybe things you've gone through, things they've gone through, and there's just like a lot in common. You're going to have a lot in common. You're going to have a lot to talk about. Like, how do I put this into words? Like, the way you look at life is the way that they look at life. The way you look at society is the way they look at society. The way you look at love is the way that they look at love. So because of that, there's a lot to talk about. And you're able to bounce off each other in that way. And I think that's why everything flows quite easily and why you look like each other on the inside. Because I think that it's kind of like 2 peas in a pod. That's kind of like how it's coming through. I do see a lot of quality time being spent. And you know what I see at the beginning? I see a lot of quality time being spent without the like pressure of like, this is going to be a relationship, this is going to be a marriage, this is going to be X, Y, and Z. I see a lot of quality time where you're just enjoying each other's time. There's no like picking the petals off the flower, like, do they love me, do they love me not? There's no let me watch a pick a card, see how they feel about me. None of that. You're not going to have any of that, because I think that you're just going to be two people enjoying each other's company. I just keep being shown two people with a cup of tea. So I don't know if you like go out for coffee or something like that a lot, or there's something about that, but I see you both spending a lot of time in each other's company and talking. I feel like mentally you guys are going to click very well, which is then going to lead you to emotionally connecting really well. Even though I do feel like you're going to click quite well, I still see this as a slow burner, because I do think when you genuinely meet each other, it is going to start off as friends. I think it's going to slowly progress into something more, because I think both of you are just very open to connecting, and I think both of you really value different sides to each other. I think that this person's going to make you feel very safe, and I feel like this person's going to really ground you, and I feel like this person's going to you know this song by Taylor Swift, Cardigan, I think it's called. Just what? Okay, I don't know the lyrics 100%, but I'm sure it's like, when I felt like an old cardigan under someone's bed, you put me on and said I was your favorite. Maybe wrong, but I'm sure that was the lyrics. I feel like that's how they're gonna make you feel. And I feel like this you may have been single for a while before you meet this person. I don't think you would be like actively dating, because I don't even see you looking towards a situation like this is someone I'm dating. This is just like, I see you looking towards this person as a friend first. But I see you feeling really comfortable with them and opening up very emotionally in an emotional way. Yes, with that there may be triggers that come up, because especially if we've taken time out to heal and we've been single for a while, when we do open up there may be fears that come up, but I feel like you're going to deal with them in a really good way, and I think this person's going to be very patient with you. But yeah, this person's going to make you feel very safe. The way you make this person feel, I feel like you make this person feel young again, and I feel like this person may have had to like practically keep like I keep being shown like a strong focus on the material, or a strong focus on having to have everything together, and I feel like you're going to have this person maybe loosen the reins or make them feel kind of like young again, or feel very bright again, and look at life in a more lighter way. I think you're going to be healing to this person's inner child. That's what I'm being shown. I don't know if you listen to rock music. I don't know the song because I'm just hearing rock music in my head, but I'm seeing two people like listening to rock music. I don't know if you listen to rock music, but that's just what I was shown. It could just be a snippet that I saw of whoever that resonates for, but I was just shown that. Yeah, and I feel like I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but I just feel like it's going to evolve really beautifully, slowly but beautifully. It's like almost like I'm being shown like a stream. It's going to take its time, but I feel like you and this person are going to be like the best of friends before it moves into a relationship, and I think it's going to move into a relationship naturally, and then I think everything's going to move that way. The way this is set up, it feels like you and this person are like a team. You know what I mean? Like you and this person are a team. There's a lot of loyalty here, and because you look at relationships the same way, you're able to build in that way. I'm not saying you're going to agree on everything, no one does, but I think that you're really going to see life the same way, and I think you may have gone through certain experiences that have kind of like molded you to be aligned with each other, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pull your final card. Pile number 1, please, for guides. Pile number 1's future spouse. Pile number 1's future spouse. Pile number 1's future spouse. Oh, we have this card, which the back of the deck says, embrace. Through each other you find the missing pieces. That's really beautiful. Through each other you find the missing pieces. I think maybe in areas where you may lack, they may have created abundance in, and vice versa, because like I said, you look at life in a wondrous way. I think you're very connected to your inner child. You're very creative in that way, and I feel like that's going to really activate your person, whereas I feel like maybe there's parts of yourself that you haven't even met yet because you've never had a safe space to give them an outlet, and I think that this person's going to hold space that these parts are just going to pop out, and they never would have come out before. Like, you know, you may find when you get with this person and they're holding that space for you, you may find yourself being a lot more extroverted, or you may find yourself being a lot more like funny and like a people person, or more loud, or more you may take like risks, like business wise and stuff, and maybe in the past you never would have done that, but this person almost holds space for you to activate those parts of yourself. It's like they're watering those parts of you that haven't been watered before, which allows them to kind of be awoken within you, and vice versa with your person, which is really, really beautiful. This looks really lovely. Like, I love the energy of this, and I feel like you'd meet them around spring or summer. Like, I don't know why I'm picking that up, like spring, summer time. That's the time period I would say you'd meet this person. But when you meet them, I don't see you looking for anything. I mean, you could be open to it, but I don't see you looking, and I don't see you approaching this person in a relationship way. But it could even be just the way you look at relationships. It's like, I'm just open to connecting with people and seeing where it goes. And I feel like that may be this person's mindset as well, without too much focus on what it could be. And I think that's why it slowly and beautifully unravels. So yeah, pile 1, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pal 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at your future spouse. So we're going to be taking a look at the personality and characteristics of your future spouse, and then we'll be taking a look at the dynamics of your future spouse and you in regards to the partnership. I hope that made sense. That didn't come out the way I meant to say it in my brain, but I hope that gave you an indication of what we're going to do here. So you guys chose the Rose Quartz Heart. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we will move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 2, please, spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 2s. I want to say with your future spouse, when you meet this person, it could be that you were single for some time before you meet them. It could be that this is the first person you like literally ever open up to on a heart, in a heart space sort of way. That I have brain fog today, guys. I hope I'm making sense. This could be the first person you open up your heart space to, or this could be your first relationship after you've done healing. Because one thing that I will say about this person is that it's almost like my heart space has been closed for maintenance and I'm ready to open it up. And it's like part of me haven't had like sunlight before, or part of me haven't been watered before, and now this person's coming in to like water them, or, you know, project sunlight onto, and it's like I have to be aware of certain fears that are coming up, and I'm a little bit worried, but I'm working through it. That's what I'm being shown here. I think that you guys specifically have learned a lot of tough lessons in regards to love. You may have had a lot of karmic relationships, just, you know, relationships where you've had to learn a lot of heavy lessons. So naturally, I feel like when this person comes in, that there may be, you know, like some intensity or some worry that will come up. And sometimes I see people say, you know, when you meet the one, it's peaceful and stuff, and I do agree. But when you've gone through trauma and you've gone through certain, you know, bad relationships and relationships that have been heavy, there is still, you know, gonna be some fear there, because it's just inward, and it's something we've just got to hold space for and allow to come out. And I think you will hold space for it very beautifully, but I do feel that there may be like intense feelings that come up that you may have to, you know, allow to just, I just see it coming out of you. It's literally just like I'm aware of it, and it's popping out, it's coming out. I don't think it's necessarily anything that your person does. I think it's just that opening to love. Again, there may be some fear there. So let's take a look at your person's personality. So pile number 2's future spouse, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2's future spouse's personality and characteristics. We have the 6 of Pentacles. Pile number 2's future spouse. personality and characteristics. Pile number 2 is future spouse. I think that your person likes to talk. That's one thing I'm picking up. I feel like your person likes to talk. Likes to talk about their feelings, likes to talk about life. I think they're very communicative. They have a lot of Gemini, Virgo. Like, there's a lot of like Mercury energy here. I feel like they like to talk. And maybe like a love language, like words of affirmation. Yeah, 6 of Wands. Your future spouse also could be somebody in the spotlight. They could be like a manager or something. Or they could just be a people person. They're good with people. That's what I'm going to say. Pile number 2's future spouse. What? 8 of Wands. Back of the deck we have the 4 of Swords. At the back of the deck. Okay. Okay, 6 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands, 8 of Wands. First thing that I want to say is I am picking up some strong fire energy from your person. I would say fire and air really strongly. So that's Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I feel like this person's good with people. This person could also work in a job where they have to like sell things. So they could like work selling things on the phone. They could sell cars. They could sell homes. They're just very good with people, talking to people, getting. Because when I look at the 6 of Wands here, if you can see there's like a crowd here and she's speaking, there's a fire here. So it's almost like getting somebody on their feet sort of thing. You know, they could be into like performing and things like that as well. They're just very charismatic. That's the energy that I'm picking up. This person's a giver as well. I have to say that about your future spouse. I feel like they're a giver. I feel like they like to make people feel good about themselves. They like to make people feel happy. They like to make people feel $1 million. It's like when you feel good, I feel good. And I feel like the people that your future spouse has in their life, they see them as an extension of themselves, like family. It's kind of reminding me of like Leo energy, because I'll do this as well. Like when it's somebody in my circle's like birthday, I will like make sure they have every present that I know that they want. I'll make sure that they'll have their favorite cakes and their favorite treats, and like I'll go above and beyond. And I notice people with a lot of Leo energy do that for like friends and people around them. Like they'll really do that and, you know, pour into them. I see that with a lot of Leo energy, and I can't help but notice that with your person. That's literally what I'm picking up here. Like I feel like they're very giving and very loving, but it's not to everyone. It's not like a love bomby thing. It's not to like everyone in the world. It's to the people that are close to them, the people that are in their circle. That's what I'm picking up here. And I do feel as well with the 6 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles here that there is this feeling like I feel like in regards to work, like there may be people that depend on them. There could be family that already do depend on them. They could be the oldest of siblings. They could be like a manager, and a lot of people look up to them. They feel like someone that looks out for people, cares for people, takes care of people in that way. Really lifts people up. I feel like they're really good at like boosting people's confidence, making people feel really good. I do feel that they're people persons. Like I feel like they're really good with people and can talk with people. They're the type that could like easily stand at a seminar and like speak to people. Very, very good at that. What I will say though is they wear their heart on their sleeve, and I feel like that they're quite deep emotionally. I feel like they wear their heart on their sleeve, and I do feel like they see the light in people a lot. That's one thing I'll say about your future spouse. I feel like they see the light in people, and I feel like, I don't know if they were like bullied when they were young. I don't know if they just have seen a lot of people go through it, because we do have the 4 of Swords at the back of the deck, but there's this feeling of like not wanting anyone to feel low. Like that's when I'm tapping into their core, I feel the reason they do a lot of this, it's like, I don't want people to feel sad about themselves. I don't want people to feel low. I don't want people to be going through things. And if I can genuinely help, then I will. Like, they feel very helpful in that way. And I think that your person also is quite intuitive, because I think that they're able to pick up when people are going through things, and when people are feeling a little bit insecure, and they will kind of like, I'm always being shown like shooting fire somewhere. This is why I'm picking up fire, because it's like I'm shooting fire towards that insecurity, or I'm shooting fire towards that person feeling low so I can lift them up. They very much feel like that. I would also say that this person's very family orientated, really care about family, very care about their roots, really care about, they may have like a parent, like one parent that they're super close with, that would have raised them. And if it isn't a parent, it could be like a grandparent or like a sibling that they're super close with. That's another thing that I'm picking up as well. This person feels, when I'm looking at the Eight of Pentacles and I'm looking at the moon phases on top of the girl's head, like, I'm thinking of like endless opportunities. I'm thinking of like, I feel like this person's lived a life. I feel like this person's gone through the motions. I feel like this person knows what it's like to feel really down and out and not want to be here. I feel like this person knows, like, they've been around the block, so they're quite wise and quite intelligent in that way. And I don't see this person as someone that judges people, but I will say that this person, how would I put this into words? Like, this person's very, okay, because now I'm picking up some strong Libra. I feel like this person's pretty diplomatic and really, like, if there was an argument, they wouldn't just like side with somebody. They'd listen to both sides. But this person cares about people. Like, there's a very humanitarian flair here. This person cares about people. And I feel like this person cares about fairness. And that's where like the morality comes in, because it's like, I care about fairness. And if you're doing something that I don't agree with, I'm going to tell you. And that's where this person can, like, this person has no problem telling people, like, I don't agree with this isn't right. Like, they're definitely not people pleasers. Like, they love to like big people up and make people feel good, but they're not people pleasers. Like, if you're doing something that they don't think is right, they're gonna tell you, whether you're a family member or a friend. It's like, that's not right, I don't agree with that, you know. Like, say now you're this person's friend and they come to you and they're like, or say no, because you'll be this person's spouse, say no, you come to them and you're like, I just said this to this person and they don't agree with it. It's like, you shouldn't have said that. They're very like that, you know, because they want everyone to, there's a way of looking at life. It's like, I want people to do better. I want people to be the best versions of themselves. And if they're not, then I'm gonna say something if they ask. Because like, they feel like they could be like personal trainers or someone that's like I feel like I'm in charge of people. This is what I was picking up with the Six of Pentacles and Six of Wands. Like, I feel like I'm in charge of people. I feel like people are looking up to me. I feel like it's my responsibility to let people know, like, when they're stepping out of line, or, you know, when they could do better, which makes me feel like their job could be there. It could be a counselor, could be a therapist, could be a personal trainer, could be a motivational speaker, could be a lawyer. Like, I don't know. There's just, that's coming through. There's a strong moral compass that I feel your person has, but there's lots of love here. I feel like this person has a very big heart, a very, very big heart. Very confident though. I feel like your person's very, very confident, super, super confident. So now I want to see the dynamic between you and your person. It's funny because when I was tapping into pile number one's person, because their emotions were like a lot more hidden, it took me a minute to scrape in. Your person's energy, it was like, this is me, you know, and I'm just like, oh, this is what I'm getting. Quite easy to read, which makes me feel like this person keeps their, like, allows their emotions to, like, they'll say how they feel. They have no problem saying how they feel. If they're annoyed, they're going to say it. If they're angry, they're going to say it. If they're happy, they're going to say it. They're going to show it. If they love you, they're going to show it. That's this person. 100%. And they feel quite open like that. I don't think you'll ever have to pry with this person in regards to how they feel about you. I don't think you'll ever have to pry about, you know, what are they going through. I think that if you're in their life, they'll openly let you know what's going on. They feel very open to people. in general. Pile number 2. Pile number 2 is future spouse. What is the dynamics between pile number 2's person and their future spouse? What is the dynamic between pile number 2's person and their future spouse? We have the 8 of Pentacles again. What are the dynamics going to be between pile number 2 and their future spouse? We have the Page of Cups. What are the dynamics going to be? We have the 5 of Cups. I think you might turn this person down at first. What are the dynamics going to be between pile number 2 and their future spouse? Oh God. We have the 2 of Pentacles as well. And the back of the deck, you have the Moon. We have the Moon at the back of the deck. Okay, 8 of Pentacles, Page of Cups, 5 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles. To start off with what I was saying, I do feel like you may turn this person down at first, just because I feel like when you tap into this person at first, I feel like it could be very easy to look at them and just see them as somebody that's just very extroverted, because they're very communicative. It could be like, oh, you say this to everyone, or you're probably dating around. Like, it's probably very easy to project this onto this person, and I'm saying that because I feel like you might project onto this person like, this isn't the type of person that I want. They could remind you of somebody from the past, and because they wear their emotions on their sleeve, you may think this feels very like you may look at it like, I feel like that's the type of person that could love bomb. That's the type of person that could like just burn and it could just fizzle out. Like, I feel like that's the way you will first look at this person. However, even though this person's quite open and charismatic and fun, this person's, when it comes to pouring into the people around them, they don't just let people into their circle for any reason. And there's a lot of special treatment that they give to the people in their life. And I think that once you're in their life, they feel pretty fixed in the sense of, you're part of me now, your family. Like, I care about you and I care about your feelings and only you. Like, I haven't got eyes for anyone else. And I think that on first glance, you're not going to see that, of course. And I think that you may not be interested in this person. And I think that they may try once or twice to like flirt with you and stuff, and I think you may shut it down, or you may just be somebody that's not as open and as charismatic as this person. You could be somebody that keeps your cards close to your chest. You could be somebody that's more of an observer, and I think that you may not know even how to deal with this person when you first meet them. So it's like, I don't know how you make me feel. I don't really know if I want to talk to you. But there's something that's going to break the ice, because I'm being shown ice melted. There's something that's going to break the ice, and I don't know what it is. I see 2 people laughing, so I don't know if there's going to be like a friendship formed. I'm not being shown an indicator of how you meet or what happens, but I see like a friendship formed, or I see you maybe even like not taking this person very serious. Then it's almost like you're looking at this person like, oh, this person's just fun. Not looking at them in that kind of way, but they're fun, and you know, they're funny. And there's almost a situation where this person may help you out, because I'm being shown a situation where this person helps you out or does something for you. And I think that's where you may see a different side of them. And I think that's the kind of doorway in. And what's funny is when this person has that doorway in, they're going to think you're not interested, and they're just going to be stepping towards you in a friend way. So I think you may start to look at them in a certain way then. And I think their brain's just going to be like, well, they don't, because they're not the type to push. Like, they're very like, I like you, I tried, you weren't interested, I'm just going to keep it pushing as friends. And I think you may start to feel some type of way towards them, but I don't think they're going to be aware of it. Like, I think they're going to be like, oh, this is just a friend because they said so. And it's almost like there's going to be a little bit of a back and forth where they like you, you don't. You like them, and they're just not aware of it. And that's kind of what's going to happen. And I'm not really being shown how something kind of transpires into a relationship, but I know that you're gonna know them pretty well, because I see you almost laying ground rules with them. Like, we move slow, like we take it slow, we move this at this pace because this is a pace I need it at. Like, I almost see you kind of not necessarily making a list, checking it twice, but I do see you kind of being like, let's move slow, let's take it slow. And I do think that this person's going to honor that 100%, but I do think that they're going to be waves of intensity and emotions that come up for you that you are going to have to kind of move through. And I think that this person's going to surprise you in regards to how, what's the word, like, I'm being shown you laying there and somebody picking you up, and by that I mean you're going to feel very held by this person. I feel like this person's going to be very attentive to you and your emotions, and I think that's going to allow you to have these intense emotions pass through you, because I do think there's going to be fears, and I do think this person's going to have you talk about them, which is going to create an even bigger breakthrough. This person feels very protective over you in regards to like marriage, you know, like relationship wise. This person feels very protective over you. I feel like there's going to be moments where, I don't know if you do a lot of healing, but with the Two of Pentacles, like, there's going to be moments where you're not going to be feeling your best and this person's going to have to pull the weight. And there's going to be moments where your person may not be feeling their best and you're going to have to pull the weight in different ways. And I think that this connection may be a little bit challenging for the both of you, because I feel like for you, you're really going to have to open up to being vulnerable and maybe allowing your feelings to come out in some sort of way. And I feel like with your person, they're going to have their own emotions come up in regards to what are their emotions coming up, what is it that they're working through, spirit guides, when, because I keep being shown like a little bit of a balance at the beginning when you balance this out before a marriage, where like you may be working through some feelings and having to like allow them to come out, and this person may have to hold the weight there. But then I'm being shown it flipped, where they may be working through things and you're gonna have to hold the weight there. And I'm trying to take a look at what they may be working through, because they're very charismatic and very open. They could have easily been in relationships that may have been a little bit shallow, I'm gonna put it that way. You're very deep and emotional, and I think you may touch on parts of them that they haven't had touched on before internally. I think that you may have them speak about things or touch on things or intuitively pick up on things that they may not have been aware of, they may have tucked away. And I think there may be moments where they're working on that, and I feel like that's where you're going to be holding space there. This is going to be a very healing relationship for the both of you in regards to the dynamics here. And because you are hitting those parts of them and they're allowing those things to come out, they're going to feel very safe with you emotionally. And I think that's why it transpires into a marriage, which is what we have here. But there are going to be moments where you're going through things, they're going through things, and you're both going to be holding space. But this person, they feel like someone that's able to like keep a spark alive, in a sense that they're very romantic. I feel like they're very just, this is how they are, just authentically. They're very giving, they're very romantic, they're very loving. They like to let people know how they feel. They like that's the way they move. Like, they like to let people know how they feel. They like to let people know you know, what they mean to them. Like, they're that type of people. They see people in their life as like, this is family, this is part of me. That's how they move. Yeah, and I think this relationship is going to go strength to strength. But with the Eight of Pentacles and the Moon phases, I think that you and this person are going to pass through phases that might not be the easiest, where you're maybe both going through things, or you're both dealing with things that are coming up in regards to like healing, and you're both going to be working through them, and that's where you're both going to have to like hold the weight. Like, that is going to happen. But I think you're both going to be emotionally intelligent and equipped to move through that. This person feels very emotionally held by you. You know that song, what's it called? La la la. It's like, I could stay awake just to hear you breathing, or something like that. I don't want to close my eyes. I don't remember. I'm sure it's like, I don't want to close my eyes, something like that. But yeah, that is the song that's coming through. I'm going to pull an oracle card for you guys now. But the dynamic, I feel like you're both really emotionally going to connect with each other very deeply. I think that this person's really going to intuitively see when you're going through... this is the thing where it may trigger you. This person's going to see when you're going through it intuitively, or what you may be processing naturally, because they're a giver. I feel like they're going to want to make you feel better by nurturing that, but you may have never been nurtured in that way before, so you may be like, oh my god, and that could make you feel... There may be moments at the beginning of the relationship or when feelings are starting to sprout where you may want to run, which is normal and natural when you've been through, you know, bad relationships in the past. And I just want to give the advice of like, you are not your emotions, they're just passing through. Allow yourself to feel them and allow them to flow out, and don't make any major decisions until those emotions have flowed out. That's what I would say. But I feel like by that point you're going to be quite equipped with how to move through that, and this person feels very supportive as well. Pile number 2. Pile number 2's future spouse. I do feel like this is the person you're going to have babies with. I see a family here. And I just dropped way too many cards on the floor. Pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 2's future spouse. Pile number 2's future spouse. We have surrender. At times we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go and all will work out. There may be like an old way of looking at relationships that you may have to surrender in order to allow this connection to come in. Like I said, you may have been through relationships where there was maybe like trauma bonding, karmic connections where you had to like learn and have things mirrored to you that you needed to release and work through. And I feel like you would have surrendered that way of looking at relationships by the time you meet this person. The way you look at relationships is going to be very different, but the old way of looking at them had to be cleansed and purged through before you step towards this person. And even though when this person comes in, old ways of and old dynamics and fears may crop up, that's very normal. You're going to be equipped and you're going to allow them to just kind of flow out in order to allow this new connection to come through and have you look at love in a different way. That's what I would say. But there's a lot of surrendering for both of you in regards to this connection, pile number 2. So pile 2, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at your future spouse. So we're going to be taking a look at the personality traits and characteristics of your future spouse, and then we'll be taking a look at the dynamics between you and your person. So you guys chose the perfume. I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move on to your oracle card. So let's get in. So let me just get comfortable a sec because I'm in a weird position. Okay. Let's go. Pile number 3, please, Spirit Guides. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 3s. This person's going to come into your life when there's a lot of drastic shifts and changes going on. Because the minute I tapped in, I was literally being shown like it almost looked like rocky mountains, and they're literally like falling in. And then as I'm being shown a person, which would be you, like falling through it and kind of like surrendering, like, okay, this is happening, and then all of a sudden like you land and then there's somebody in front of you. So I feel like you're going to meet this person through a very transitional stage, and you may look at like at that time relationships and partnerships like, I'm not ready to meet somebody until I have everything set up and my feet are on the ground, but I don't think it's going to go that way. I feel like this person's going to be part of the transition for you, and I think there may be a little bit of batting away at first, pile 3, because it's almost like I'm not ready, I've got things to do, I've got things I'm focusing on, there's a lot going on, and I think that's part of the surrender, and that may be the lesson with this person, especially with them ending up becoming your future spouse. I feel like they're part of that transition, they're part of that new path for you. Yeah, pile number 3. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3s. There's a lot of trust in here, and I'll tell you why, because they're telling me to tell the story of the perfume. That perfume there, I was in the airport and they had like the Ghislaine, I hope that's how you pronounce it anyway, the wall with all the perfumes there, and that's my favourite part of an airport, smelling the perfumes. And I went over, and if you've ever seen these bottles before, and I'm telling you the story because it adds, right? It adds into it. If you've ever seen these bottles, they basically have the same bottle for every perfume, but the fragrance is in a different colour. So it's basically like a variety of shades of pinks and oranges and stuff, and they're all just like lined up, but they all have different scents. And I was like, well, I like this one, so I'm going to take a photo. But when I took the photo, I didn't home in on one perfume, so I just had about 10 different bottles in the photo with different scents, different colours. And when I went back to the picture to find out which was the perfume I liked, I couldn't remember which one I'd picked because it was about 10 bottles all in a row. So I was like, you know what? Yes, it's a bit expensive, but I'm going to take a shot in the dark, and I'm just going to whittle my finger around, see which one it lands on, and I'm going to purchase that and hope for the best that that's the one I like. So that's what I did. I don't recommend doing that, but I did it, and I purchased it, and it came, and it was the perfume that I wanted. It was the exact perfume that I wanted, and I had to trust when I ordered it that I was picking the right perfume out of the 10 bottles that were in that photo. It's actually quite funny, and I trusted well, I surrendered, and I got the perfume that I wanted. So the reason I'm being told to say that is because there's something in this reading in regards to your future spouse of you trusting that it's going to transpire the way that it's supposed to, trusting that this is your person. And I think as well, you may be like leading up to meeting this person, like, where is my person? When am I going to have that? When am I going to be in a relationship? When am I going to have this? And that's where I'm hearing like, trust your path. You're walking your own path. Trust your path. That's just a message I want to bring through because I felt the need to say that story. Like, I felt urged to bring that in, and you did choose that perfume. So pile number 3. Can you show me the personality and characteristics of pile number 3's future spouse? I just shared Point of View by Ariana Grande when she sings You Know Me Better Than I Do. I just shared that. We have the 9 of Pentacles. Pile number... Yeah, I feel like this person's going to be able to read you like the back of their hand. I feel like this person's a little bit of an observer, and I feel like they're able to read people anyway, but I just feel like with you, they feel quite intelligent. I feel like they can read you. Maybe psychic, could be psychic, but I feel like they can read you. Like when you're playing nonchalant, they'll be able to tell. When you're feeling a bit nervous, they'll be able to tell. And I think at first, for you guys, maybe a little bit intimidating, especially if you wanted to keep your cards close to your chest, because I feel like they're able to pick up a lot from you. But one thing that I will say is you're able to pick up a lot from this person. And I will say as well that you and this person are very alike. You're able to read people. They're able to read people. You're alike. You're alike in a lot of ways. That's one thing that I'm going to say. You may butt heads, but it's coming through very humorously, if that's even a word. Like, you may butt heads, but it's coming through like I want to laugh about it. We have the 3 of Wands. I feel like your future spouse is very headstrong. You may get a little bit irritated because I feel like this person is going to mirror back things to you that you may not even be aware of yourself, because I think that you guys are quite headstrong and this person's very headstrong. And the reason that you may sometimes irritate each other is because you may want to be like leader, you know, the leader of the situation. They want to be the leader of the situation. I'm being shown like somebody picking up a cup, the other one's picking up a cup, and it's quite kind of funny because you're very alike. Like this, I want to laugh about it. You're very, I see frustrations, but it's because you're similar, you know. And it's like, oh my god, do I really do that? Like I'm seeing that. Pile number 3. Pile number 3, please. Spirit guides. Pile number 3s. Future spouse. We have the Knight of Cups. Pile number, oh god, we have the Ace of Pentacles here. Oh, we have 2 cards that came out. We have the 6 of Swords and Ace of Pentacles that came out together. Let me move your perfume up here so I can get all of the cards fit into the thing. We had the 6 of Swords come up as well with the Ace of Pentacles, and then the back of the deck we have the Hanged Man. Okay, first off, why do we have the Hanged Man at the back of the deck? Okay, I would say that your future spouse is quite connected to spirit, because this is the personality and characteristics. First off, I feel like your future spouse is quite connected to spirit. I feel like they may work with spirit, or they could just be very... No, I would say that they work with spirit. I feel like spirit work with them quite strongly, because I feel like they channel a lot. They have like strong claircognizance. I feel like they get downloads. There's just like a strong inner knowing in regards to this person, and I feel like they're very intuitive and can read situations. I would also say that I would say that they have the psychic ability of being able to see timelines in front of them and having predictions in that way. I think that they're very good and honed in with that. I am being shown somebody doing astrology as well. I don't know why I'm being shown like a natal chart in front of me, and I've got a pencil in my hand and I'm like drawing over a chart. That's literally what I'm being shown. So they could be into astrology, anything to do with psychology, spirituality, understanding the human psyche, understanding the soul. That could very much so be their career, because I feel like they're very good at that and would have done it in other past lives. That's another thing coming through. I keep being shown the world as well. I don't know if they've traveled a lot. They could have traveled a lot. They could be very like humanitarian, like, you know, very protective of Earth, or just people in general. There's a lot of energy and work there coming through. I don't think that they take themselves too seriously. Like, I don't think that they have a very high ego. Like, they're very aware of their ego, because I don't believe we're meant to kill the ego. I think we're meant to have very healthy egos, and that's what's coming through. They have a very healthy ego, but they're aware. Like, they're very self-aware. That's what I'm trying to say. They're very aware if they were to step out of line, or they're very self-aware of the thoughts that come up. If they were to judge someone, it's like, what is it within me that is triggering this or causing this? They're very like that, but I'm also being told to say, so are you. You're also that way. And I think that they feel very Aquarian. It's like, I'm looking at the world and I know where I want it to go. I'm looking at the world and I know what we need to do. I know where we need to invest. I know what humanity needs to like move forward. I know where to like I keep seeing traveling and moving somewhere. Like, I need to help out here, I need to help out here, or I need to send my energy here, or what can I, like, I see them looking at the world and being like, how can I help? Like, they feel very light worker. How can I help? That's how they feel. 100%. I think that they're very careful with who they bring into their life, because they understand energy, and they understand because they're so self-aware, and I feel like they've done a lot of work on themselves. I feel like they're very careful of who they're bringing in, and why that person's coming in, because there's a lot of questions being asked in this person's mind when anything happens, of like, what's this teaching me? Why is this happening? What's going on? Very aware of that, and I think that they really listen to that. Again, I feel so do you, but because of that, I feel like they're also very inquisitive. And I will say, when you meet this person, there's something that's amusing them about you, because I feel like, how do I put this into words? Like, they almost feel amused by you, because I almost see you getting a bit frustrated, but I think you might have been either on your own for some time, or you're used to doing things your own way and maybe not asking for help. Maybe because when you grew up you didn't get a lot of help, so you've been used to do things by yourself. Or maybe there's a select type of way that you like doing things. Maybe you're very fixed, or like having things under your control. And I see this, I don't know why, and I don't know what situation this is coming under, but I see this person almost like, why don't you try it this way? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? And I see you almost getting frustrated, like, let me do it my way, and they're offering help, and I see you getting a bit frustrated, and they can see that, because there's like a humorous feel that I'm getting. Or you may look at something in a particular way and they may like tilt your head a little bit, like, what about this way? Or you may be taking a photo of something and they're like, why don't you try it like this? And I see you just like, but you may hate me for it, I see them offering genuine help, and I see them being able to like help elevate your mind. But at the time you may look at it like, oh, why does everything have to be your way? Why are you trying to push everything that way? But then I see them kind of springing back at you like, why does everything have to go your way? Why does everything have to go the way you want it? And I see this person being like a match. Like I see this like, you've met your match. Because that's what I'm picking up here. Like, you both are quite headstrong, like things done a certain way, used to things going your way, moving in your way, having things under control in your way. This person does as well, and I think you're gonna have met your match when you meet this person. Why do we have the Six of Swords? I'm really interested to see why we have the Six of Swords. I think you and this person may have, I mean, let's be honest, if you're connected to spirit in this way, in this deep way, or if you're very tapped into psychology and the human mind that way, for us to really be ushered there, a lot of the times, there's a lot of deaths and rebirths that we go through inwardly or externally, having to like experience them, like, you know, people letting us down, people, you know, going through things in childhood, having to let go of people that we loved, having to lose people that we've loved. It creates that level of baggage that we want to wade through and work through. So I think both of you would have maybe gone through certain experiences that has allowed that level of connection to spirit, or that connection inwardly, you know, in regards to healing. And I think that may be something that you have in common. There's a lot mirrored here. I would say out of all the other piles, this one has the most mirroring. And I think you're someone that likes to have things under control, and when this person pops up, you're not going to have things in the way that you would like it to be. I think you may have like an idea of like, when I meet someone next, or when I meet my future spouse, I'm going to have this sorted, I'm going to have this sorted, I'm going to have this sorted. And this person's going to show up while everything's either premature or things haven't set, like the cement's gone down but it's not set. And I think you're going to be like, oh, it's not ready, because there's almost this perfectionistic mentality, and this person's like, does it have to be perfect? Like, why are you holding off? What are you scared of? They're going to ask questions that you may be like, why are you asking me this? Like, why? And I think that's going to be like a challenge there, but I think you're both going to kind of like blend into it after a minute. I think this person's gonna know that they've met their match when they meet you, because I see a lot of romantic feelings coming up. Like, I see them intuitively feeling like, that's my person. I know that's my person, because I see them a little bit before you, seeing the bigger picture and being like, that's 100% my person. Like, that person's just like me, and they're kind of getting frustrated at X, Y, and Z, and I do too. So and I see them almost looking at it in a humorous way, in a light-hearted way, and that may frustrate you first of all, but I see them looking at you because I see that psychic kind of like intuitive feel of like, that's the person. Like, you know, when you're connected to spirit, you know when someone is going to mean something to you. You know when someone's going to have a big impact on your life. That's how they feel stepping towards you, looking at it through the lens of spirit. And yeah, I feel like that's when they're going to open up to you romantically. But I want to take a look at the dynamics when we get into that, because that's where I'm starting to be taken to. So I want to lay cards for that. So pile number 3. This person's also very calm under pressure. Pile number 3. Like literally a tower could be falling in front of them and they just stand there. You know what I mean? It's like if I run, I'm still going to get caught up, so I'm just going to stand here. They're very level like that. They're very balanced like that. Pile number 3. Definitely not the type to play games. I'm not going to lie, and this isn't me calling you out. I feel like I'm not saying you're going to come towards this with any level of toxicity like that, but I feel like I'm not going to say you're going to test them. Maybe you might for some of you, but I see you almost trying to poke the bear to see how they react, because it's like, is this person all they say that they are? Like, is this person all they say that they are? And I'm not really being given an indication of what poking the bear is, but there's a level of like, are you all that you say that you are? What about if I do this? What if I do this? What if I do that? And I almost see you waiting for a reaction that they don't give, because this person's very level-headed and they also know what you're doing. Like, this is the thing. Like, I see them just seeing through you and know and just seeing what you're doing. I don't know what that's about. I don't know. And the thing is, when we step into relationships, sometimes old habits may come up, and sometimes old ways of looking at relationships may come up. So you may result to something that you might have done in the past that might not be the healthiest, but this person sees you doing it and it's like, what are you doing? Like, they may even call it out to you and be like, why are you doing that for? And you're like, oh, like there's something there and I don't know what that is. But this isn't somebody you can pull a wool over their eyes. This isn't someone to play games with. Like, they're very level-headed and observant, because that's where the humorous things come in. It's like, really, are you doing that? Are you honestly gonna try that? Like, that's kind of how they're coming through. And I'm not gonna lie, it's coming from your side, not theirs, because I see them just kind of observing you, like, why are you doing that for? What you doing that for? You know, then that's where like maybe a conversation may be had. But you know what it is? I feel like you're like that. I feel like if somebody's in front of you and they're like maybe acting it like a certain way, or they're like allowing their anger to get the better of them, or allowing their jealousy to get the better of them, you are the type of person to go, this is coming from a wound connected to your inner child, and I don't know why you're acting this way. Like, I feel like you're the type of person to see that and be like, why are you allowing this to come out for? What makes you feel like you need to talk like that, or act like that, or move like that? Like, you're that type of person because you see through people, you know? So this person's the same way, you know? Pile number 3. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3. You're both also going to have to learn when to back down in this connection, and when to allow the other person to take the lead. You're both going to, there's going to be like a, what's it called? Not a power control. What's it called when two people want the power in the situation, but it's not called a power fight. What's it called? A power control? A power... Let me know in the comments what it's called when two people want to be the leader. There's going to be a little bit of a wobble, and you're both going to have to learn as time goes on who is a leader in what situation and who wears the trousers in the other situation. Like, there's going to be a balance that comes there, because you're both very strong individuals. Pile number 3. Pile number 3 is future spouse. Pile number 3 is future spouse. What are the dynamics going to be? Pile number 3. What are the dynamics going to be? We have the Tower. Like I said at the beginning, with the mountain falling and the person falling through with it, there's going to be you're maybe going to be going through a Tower moment when this person comes in. It could literally be like a spiritual awakening when this person comes in. A really strong shift physically when this person comes in. Pile number 3. We have the Sun. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3. Pile number 3 is dynamics with our future spouse. We have the World. Pile number 3 is future spouse, please. Pile number 3 is dynamics with their future spouse. We have the Hermit as well. And the back of the deck, we have the 8 of Wands. So like I said, I feel like I said, with you guys both being connected to spirit, I think that you're both gonna evolve a lot with each other. It's literally like, you know, when two magnets come together and it's like, I feel like you both maybe trigger an awakening with each other. I think when you sync, you're gonna sync that you move together. So when one's going through a shadow period, the other person's going to be going through a shadow period. When one's purging, the other one's going to purge. You're going to be in sync with each other like that. You know what I mean? There's like a sync up, like a link up. Strong soul tribe energies, and like I said, I feel like you're both very aligned. The fact that we have 4 major arcanas, I think this is going to be a very significant connection here, to be honest with you. I think that you're, especially with the Sun card, yeah, I think that you're both going to grow a lot, and I think you're both going to activate a lot within each other. I'm being told to keep that very, I'm being told to tell you that dynamic in a very simple way, because I think that your connection is part of your soul mission, both of you, and I think that the way that you both evolve and connect to your soul mission, it's very aligned, and I think that you're gonna have to really like trust spirit with that. But I think that there's gonna be I think you're both, when you align with each other, you're moving together onwards. Then it's like 2 dolphins swimming together, jumping over the waves together. And I think that one thing that you both had to learn to trust is spirit, surrender, connect to your own divine feminine energies and trust spirit and allow things to flow the way that they're supposed to. And I think that that's why I'm being told with this Sun card, yes, you're going to grow spiritually. I see you molding into your purpose and growing into your purpose even more, but that's why I'm being told trust spirit, that information will come when it's supposed to. I'm being told not to cover that too much, but I do know that you're both going to grow a lot with each other. I also think that you both are going to meet each other when you've both wrapped up a strong cycle in your life. So I think you may have both incarnated to clear a level of karma. And I think you would have put that to bed when you meet each other. And I think that a lot of you two meet in, I think you're supposed to meet, because I think you're meant to usher in a new wave of like family dynamics, like, you know, having children, or you know, getting married and changing what that means for maybe your ancestral family line. Like, marriage means this to me, love means this to me, having children means this to me, and, you know, creating that kind of like new wave. When we clear karma, we have to bring in, usher in something new. And I feel like you and this person linking up and getting together, that's the newness that's coming through, it's being birthed there. So I think there's like a really strong purpose with this person, and that's why you're being called to trust a lot with this connection, because there's a reasoning that this person's for you, and you really, really align with this person in that way. You guys are my spiritual pal, 100%. And then with the Hermit card as well, I just feel like you and this person, you're a very in-depth person. I feel like your person is, and I think that there's going to be moments where like you're going to need to isolate and spend time on your own, because I think that maybe a lot of your life you've maybe been a bit of a like a loner or a lone wolf and needed time alone to understand your own energies and connect with spirit. They have had to as well, so you're both going to understand when you need space, they need space, and there's not going to be like a worry of like, because that's the surrender, there's not going to be like a worry of what's this person doing, why do they need to be on their own, what's going on. Like, you're both going to really respect that within each other, because you're going to understand each other. It's like, I do it, they do it, I need space, they need space. Like, it's one of those things. You're going to be very alike, because I do feel like you're both going to go through a lot of shifts and tower moments internally anyway. And I think that with the number 9 with the Hermit card, like, I think there's going to be moments where you're both going to need to like spend time alone and kind of like go into your cave a little bit, and you're both going to be very respectful of that, which is really, really lovely. But you're going to go through a lot of shifts with this person and really grow and evolve with this person, with the 8 of Wands being at the back of the deck. This feels like a really beautiful soulful connection. So pile 3, lots of button heads at the beginning though. I think the button heads will always be there, but it's going to be pretty light hearted, because it's funny, you're both button heads, but like it's 2 sides of the same coin, because you both want the same thing, and you both mean the same thing. It's like when, like I was saying with the camera analogy, like you want to take a picture of a view, they want to take a picture of the view, but you're trying it your way, they're trying it their way, but like at the end of the day, the end goal is you both want a nice picture of the view. So why don't you try it from each other's perspective to see what the best one is and maybe mold it together, you know, or meet halfway. That's the thing, you're both going the same way, but you may have to like try each other's sides of the coin out, and that may be where some friction comes in. But you're both going to be so aware enough, internally aware enough to know like the end goal is taking a picture of the view. So let's try and dabble, and I think you're both going to be learning that with each other. I think your person may surrender a little bit first though. I think there may be still some more stubborn energy with you guys, and I'm not judging. There's gonna definitely be some more stubborn energy with you. I see you still being like, still want it my way. Like I still see that a little bit with you. But they're coming through like they're aware. It's like, I know you're trying to gain control of the situation because I do it too. Like I can, you know, you're very aware, emotionally aware. It's really lovely. Pile number 3. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3 and their future spouse. Pile number 3 and their future spouse, please. Pile number 3 and their future spouse. We have this card, and it says soulmate. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will manifest physically. That's lovely. Yeah, there's a psychic link. I think you're both gonna know when the other's coming in. I think you're gonna maybe have dreams, or you're going to again, psychic visions. Whatever psychic abilities you have, you'll have it that way. So if you're clairaudient, you may be hearing love songs, you may be getting messages clairaudiently. If you're clairvoyant, you may be getting images and symbols. Spirit may be showing up with symbols in the physical. And again, it could be like, because for them, I see them having like an inner knowing, so they could just have a knowing that you're coming in. With you guys, you may have a feeling, because I see clairsentience with you guys, so you may just have that feeling, whereas with them there's like a knowing, or there's like this is the path where I meet someone, like this is the path where I meet someone significant. You're gonna know energetically, and you've probably popped up in each other's dreams because I think you've had past lives with each other, and I think that you connect with each other in spirit literally all the time. I see that strong soul link here. So pile number 3, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pile 4, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at you and your future spouse. So we're going to take a look at the personality traits and characteristics of your future spouse, and then we're going to move into the dynamics between you and your person. So you guys chose the hair clip. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we will move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 4, please, spirit guides. Pile number 4, tap me into the collective of my pile number 4s. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 4s. Can you show me the personality traits and characteristics of pile number 4's future spouse? I feel like your future spouse is going to be very intelligent. You know that meme of Alan from The Hangover when he's playing poker or something, and then it has like all the equations to the side and you can see his mind going? I was just shown that, so I feel like your person's quite intelligent. Pile number 4. Pile number 4. Pile number 4's future spouse. Picking up some Aquarius energy. Aquarius and Gemini. We have the 8 of Cups. This is their personality and characteristics. Pile number 4. Personality traits and characteristics of my pile number 4s. We have the Queen of Wands. Pile number 4's personality traits and characteristics of their future spouse. We have the Fool. This person's very creative as well. Pile number 4. Four of Wands, and the back of the deck we have the Knight of Swords, and it's in, no, not the Knight of Swords, sorry, the King of Swords, and it's in reverse. Okay, King of Swords in reverse, Eight of Cups, Queen of Wands, the Fool, the Four of Wands. I feel like this person, your future spouse, in regards to, because I keep being taken to like their teen years or like growing up, I feel like they may have learned a lot of life lessons by doing the wrong things. I hope that makes sense. And I don't mean in a bad way, but I mean like there's almost this feeling of they might not have been guided the best growing up, or they could have grown up very unconventionally, because there's almost this feeling of like I need to find my own way. So it's like I'm making mistakes to find what works for me later on, meaning this person is not someone that will just go with the crowd for the sake of it. There's almost this feeling of like I'm gonna do my own thing and I'm gonna move my own way and I'll find what works for me. I'm not just gonna do what everyone's doing for the sake of it. So say now everybody in school was like trying to be cool and try smoking, it's like I'm not gonna do that because you're all trying it. If I want to smoke, I'll do it because I want to, not because you're all doing it because you think it's cool. Like they have a brain like that. Like I don't know why, there's almost this lone wolf kind of vibe. I keep being taken to teen years and like young years where like I'm doing my own thing. Everyone's listening to this. I'm doing something different. You know, a little bit like, I'm not like other girls, you know, and it doesn't matter the gender, but you know that saying, it's like, I'm not like other girls. I'm not like other people. Like I do my own thing. But there's this feeling of like, I like to be my own person. I like to have my own personality. That's why I'm picking up some strong Aquarius energy, because it's like, I move my own way, not with a crowd sort of thing. And I feel like this person might have been a loner for a little while, or they may have just been, this is why I'm picking up Aquarius, a little bit rebellious. Like I'm gonna go a different way, don't care if it's controversial, I'm moving this way because I want to, like no one can tell me what to do sort of thing. And that's where I feel like they may have not had the most conventional upbringing or the most, you know, put together upbringing, but there's almost this feeling of that I feel like they like it that way, or they liked it that way because it's like I like to do my own thing, I like to move my own way. Yeah, they may have moved out early, or they may have like, because I keep being shown like this is in their brain, this is where I'm being taken to in their brain, and there's such a focus because I feel like I may have built their personality like they all want me to go this way, but I'm going this way. It's very much given Troy Bolton, I want to do musical theatre, but my dad wants me to do basketball. Like that's how it's coming through. Not literally like that, but that's how they feel. It's like I want to do my own thing. They don't like to be tamed, they don't like to be controlled. It's like I want to make my own decisions, I want to move my own way. That's kind of how they're coming across. Because that's why I've got the Eight of Cups here. It's like I'm blazing my own path, I'm blazing my own career, which I think they may be very creative. This is the thing, I feel like they're very intelligent, but I feel like they may be in a career that's very creative, or in a career that people may think is unconventional, because I feel like it wouldn't shock me if like they have their own business or work for themselves, but I see them going against the grain to do it. So it's like and it could be something so simple, but in their brain it's like I'm taking control over my life. It could be they've chosen to be a gardener, you know, and have their own gardening company. However, you know, everybody told them not to and wanted them because they were intelligent to be a lawyer, but it's like, no, I like gardening. Like that's their brain, and they keep taking me there to bring a really strong focus there. Like I did things my way, I work for myself, I created this my way, I do things the way I like to do it, I can't be tamed. And that's kind of how it's kind of coming through. They're very connected to their own individuality and listening to that. It's like I'm authentic or I'm nothing. That's their personality. It's like I have to be super authentic to myself or I can't move, you know, I can't fake. I don't think this is someone that can just like fake to be nice. I feel like it'll show on their face 100%. Their personality and characteristics, the Fool. I feel like this person may live a little bit of an alternative lifestyle, or just their career path is just different. They may have to travel a lot for work. I don't think this is the type of person that has like an office job that's like 9 to 5. And I think that the things that they like to do are very different. So the way that this person would like woo you in regards to being in a relationship, I don't think it would just be like, obviously if you wanted to, they'd compromise, like, okay, let's just go on an average date and go for food or something. But this is the type of person that's like, let's go on a date, let's go rock climbing, let's go I'm trying to take my mind somewhere. Can you give me an example? Let's go on a hot air balloon. That's what Spirit just showed me, a hot air balloon. Let's go on a hot air balloon. Like, they're the type to do things and push things out of the boat like that. But to them, it's not pushing things out the boat. It's like, no, this would be really cool. I'd love to experience this with you. Like, they're kind of like that. And I think even their topics of conversation, like, they might ask things you wouldn't even think someone would ask. Yeah, but they're also very intelligent, like super, super intelligent. And I also think this person has a lot of stories and things up their sleeve. I feel like you could know this person for a really long time and you'd never know all of them. And I think they have a lot of things up their sleeve. Like, I think they've lived a life. I think they have stories. I think that they have, it's like, did I tell you that time where I was in a forest and a bear chased me? And you're like, what? And they're just like, yeah. Like, that's what I'm picking up. There's like things that come up like that. It's like, how would that happen? It's like, oh, when I was living in, where has bears? I don't even know where has bears. When I was living in Canada. And you're like, you never said you lived in Canada. Oh, yeah, I lived in Canada. And you're like, what? Like, that's this person's brain. And I think it's fun. And I feel like they keep people on their toes. And I think they have a lot of stories and they're really fun. And like, there's something about music. There's a connection to music for some of them. So they could be in a band. They could make music. Could be like a producer, a DJ. I don't know. But there's something in regards to that. But I do feel they might move about for work, or like there's something about their work that's alternative that creates like shifts in their life, or they have to head somewhere. I was watching on Netflix, if you guys have heard of Tyson Fury, and he is well, you've probably heard of Tyson Fury. He's a boxer, and he literally flew to Iceland to meet someone because he wanted to fight him, like, for his work. But he just flew there. Like, he just said to his wife, like, I've got to go to Iceland. And she was like, but it's your birthday. He's like, yeah, I've got to go. Like, we've got to go to Iceland. She's like, oh, okay. And he went to Iceland. So they may have a job that like demands them to head, you know, maybe to fly out of the country or do things. And I think that they're really going to have you, I'll get into the dynamics in a second, but I feel like they're really going to have you like open up and kind of go with the flow and roll with the punches there as well. I'll get into the dynamic now, but they feel like that type of person. They very much like to do their own thing. They don't like to be molded into a box or pressured into things. I think that's when they'll kind of close into their shell. It's like, no, you can't make me do something, you know? And I think as time's gone on and as they've got older, I think they are more open to other people's perspective on things. I think they are more open to like compromising, but it's like, I don't want to, if something's really inauthentic to me, I can't force myself to do it. It has to come, I have to really want to do it, you know? Yeah, I want to take a look at the dynamic. This person's really interesting. This person's got a really interesting mind, very intelligent, but likes to do their own thing. And I want to see how the dynamic would be in a relationship, because that's quite interesting to see how that would blend into a partnership. Pile number 4, please, Spirit guides. Pile number 4. Pile number 4's future spouse. Pile number 4's future spouse. They may have been a bit more of a loner when they were younger, but as they get older, it's like I see them really valuing community and other people. Pile number 4. But I think they took me to their childhood because they wanted, it's almost like I need you to see where this all comes from, you know? So in regards to the dynamic between you and this person, we have the Queen of Cups. Pile number...
they really value other people's authenticity. They really value other people doing their own thing. They don't expect, like, say now you met this person and you just molded yourself into them, they wouldn't like it. It's like, no, I like, if you're in my life, that you have your own thing and you do your own thing and you're authentic to you. Like, I like that. Like, yes, there'll be bridges and we'll have things that connect us to each other. Love that. But it's like, they are not just, because I was getting a little bit worried when I first was tapping into the dynamic, because it felt like they were very focused on like, I do my own thing and I move my own way. So then I felt like, why does somebody else fit in? But the minute that I'm looking at the dynamic between you and this person, they're seeing you doing your own thing, and it's like, love that. Oh my God, love that. And because you're being authentic and you're doing your own thing and you have your own movements and you like things done your way, it's like, I'm learning from you. It's balancing me out, and I love that. And I love that you're like pursuing this and you're pursuing that. And I almost feel like, not in a pushy way, but I feel like they'd vouch for you to like pursue your dreams and do your thing. Like, if you were doing something going against what you wanted and it really was going against what you want, and it's like, no, you need to do your own thing. You need to make yourself happy. Like, yes, we compromise, but like, if you're not happy, how are you going to even be able to give to other people, you know? And that's where it comes through. So it's really quite interesting, because they like to see people being different than them, because they like to see people's authenticity. I think what they don't like is when people just mold into something because they're told to. It's like, oh, everyone's going that way because it's like a trend, or everyone's going... I mean, it's more of a young way to look at it. Like, everyone's going that way because of a trend, but maybe as they get older, it's like everyone's just doing that because they're told to. They're not really thinking for themselves. What they like about you is maybe you do your own thing because you think for yourself, if that makes sense. We have the Four of Pentacles. So Queen of Cups, Four of Pentacles, pile number... They don't like to be changed, so they don't like to change other people, you know? Like, this is what I mean. Like, when I was taken to them being younger, it's like, I do my own thing, don't try and change me. So then when people come in, they know what it's like when people try and change them, so they don't try and force that on other people. It's like, oh, you love sports and X, Y, and Z, oh my God, I love that for you. They're not going to try and change that in you. And then it's like, have that same respect, don't try and change things that I like, you know what I mean? That's kind of how it is coming through. Pile number 4 and their future spouse. What are the dynamics going to be like in the partnership? What are the dynamics going to be like? We have the Magician. What are the dynamics going to be like with my pile number 4 and their person? What are the dynamics going to be like? The Sun. The back of the deck, we have Justice. At the back of the deck. Let me just get this down and move it over so you can see the cards. Okay. Sorry if it's a bit on the slant. I just want you to see the cards. Queen of Cups, Four of Pentacles, the Magician, and the Sun. I think that you and this person are quite individualistic, and I feel like you guys maybe have, because I do see a lot of like separateness in the sense of you both have your like respective careers, you both have your own things that you like to do. I do think there are going to be differences there, very stark differences, but I think that you both like that, because I do see you both being quite individualistic and like having your own things and things to do. And I think when you link up, I think that's the beautiful thing, because I feel like you and this person are going to connect very deeply in regards to like your emotions. I feel like you both are really going to I see you sharing things with each other, like sharing like music taste with each other, and having one person like look at music in a different way, and then it's like, I dress like this for this. Like, you're helping each other see things from a different perspective, because there could even be like certain projections that you may have on each other at first, but the more you get to know each other, like, you're looking at things from a different perspective. So for example, like, because they seem very individualistic in the sense of there is this kind of way of looking at things like, oh, they're all moving like in a crowd way, like in a way of like, oh, sheep, they're following a trend. They could meet you and you could like love doing something that's considered a trend, but you just love doing it. It's not because you're following something, you just love doing it. And then they look at it in a different way, like, oh, you just really genuinely like to do this and whatever, and they're looking at it differently. So it's almost like you're opening their eyes in that way. You could be somebody that's, you know, very like sporty, and they could be like, I don't get that, but it's like you open their eyes in that way. And I see, because you're both very different, you open each other's minds up to different ways of doing things. You know, like this person could be more like they move on their own, but you have them open up in a different way. Or, you know, this person could have like a certain way of looking at career because they want everything to be maybe very fast paced, whereas you're more of a slow mover. And I think that balance is like, I see you both kind of falling in love with each other's differences, which actually creates you to build a bridge that creates this more balanced dynamic within each other. So whereas this person may be a lot more fast paced, they'll choose to slow down because they're falling in love with that in regards to you, so they want to adapt to that. Whereas you could be somebody that's constantly moved slow, but maybe you need a little bit of a shift. So you meet this person and you fall in love with the fact that they're, you know, their career is a bit different, and then you start to take that on a little bit, and there's this balance that's created. So what it is that you fall in love with each other, you start to mold that into each other's lives. I hope that makes sense. That's what I got with the Justice card here. But I do still think that you're going to have your own, you're still holding on to your own individuality. And I think that you both are quite interesting people. This person has a lot of stories. I see this person just laying there at night, and this person's like, yeah, in 1999 I did this, and you're like, what? Like, oh my god, like there's stuff like that coming up, and you're like, that's a story. Like, I feel like this person's lived a life, which is quite interesting. Yeah, but I think you're going to be falling in love with each other's quirks. And it could even be things that you both judged about other people before. Like, I could be telling you about this person, and you're like, this person and their career, and it's all over the place, I don't move like that, don't like that, and you could be judging it now. But I see you guys falling in love with that when you meet this person. Like, I love that you move like that, it's actually so interesting, and you have such a different perspective of it because of maybe the way you were raised. I feel like you might have been raised differently, very much so, but you create this balance here, which is lovely. Yeah, it's reminding me, my mother's cousin, he has his own business, and if you meet him, he's like very to the point the way he talks. He's very funny, and he goes and does all these fun things. Like, he is like hiking all the time and flying places and goes to festivals, and he's just kind of grungy. It's just the way he was raised. He's a bit like rogue the way he was raised. And then his wife, who's, I call her my auntie, but I don't think she's my auntie though. It's my mother's cousin's wife. I don't know if that's an auntie, I call her my auntie anyway. She's a midwife, and she's really wholesome and really sweet, and you just wouldn't put those two together, but they actually have like 3 kids. And I don't know, it's a really interesting dynamic, but the way it's balanced, it's there. And the reason I'm saying it is because sometimes when I do readings, people are like, that's not realistic, and I'm like, well, it came through, and I'm showing like that can happen. Like, 2 different people can happen, because I know people like that, and it balanced very well. And it's a really beautiful connection, and I see that here with you guys. But that just reminded me of that dynamic, so I had to kind of explain it in like a term that I've seen it in to kind of describe it to you, because yeah, I feel like, you know, like in the Breakfast Club, and at the end of the Breakfast Club, like the 2 relationships that come of it are 2 different people that you wouldn't expect to get together. I don't particularly like the mean guy that got with a girl in that movie, The Breakfast Club, but you wouldn't have expected them to get together, and then they did. And then the other boy with the girl, and she had the makeover, they get together, and you wouldn't expect them either. That's kind of how this is. I don't think people would put you 2 together, and I think if I said to both of you, maybe when you were younger, or even now, like, this is the future spouse, you both would have been like, what? No. But you're really gonna like emotionally connect in a really lovely way here. It's coming through really lovely. So let's pull your final card, your oracle card, Pile number 4, please, Spirit Guidance. Pile number 4s. Pile number 4s. Pile number 4s. Oh God. Pile number 4s. Future spouse, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 4s. Oh goodness, I'm just dropping cards everywhere. I'm going to use the one that fell on the floor because I feel like that's the one I'm supposed to use. So you have this card and it says, criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are and your relationship will magically transform. Anytime like either of you would try to control or like judge the other's quirks, I feel like that's when there's going to be friction. And it's natural for that to maybe happen, especially at the beginning. But I think that those parts that you may be judging and criticizing, they're almost going to melt. Those are the parts you actually fall in love with and love in the relationship. Like, you know, oh, you're always moving here and there. It's like, you're going to love that they look at life like that. And you're going to embody parts of that. Whereas they could be like, oh, you know, you doing the same thing every day. But then they're going to start to love that and be like, oh, that's really nice to have structure. I've never really had structure. And now, you know, you make it look good and I kind of like when you do it, and I really love that about you, and I would like to add some of that structure into my life, and I see you, you know, both adapting, which is really lovely. So yeah, pile number 4, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.